Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you with a grateful hearts, seeking your guidance, wisdom, and blessings as we gather for this special event. We thank you for the opportunity to come together, and we pray that your presence will be with us throughout. We pray for the participants and speakers who will be sharing their talents and insights during this event. May this gathering be a shining example of your love, and may it leave a lasting impact on everyone involved. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ang dugong gumuhit ng ating kasaysayan, ng ating pagkatao, ng ating lahi, ay ang dugo ng kabayanihan. Mula sa mga bakas na iniwan ng ating mga ninuno, ating ipinagpapatuloy ang kanilang nasimulan sa mga paraang hinihingi ng anumang panahon. Taglay ang ipinamanang kagitingan at inspirasyon. Dahil ang apoy na sumiklab ilang siglo na ang nakalilipas ay nabubuhay pa rin sa atin magpahanggang ngayon. Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, teras ng sigatanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulang awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang islang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay ang langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga-api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good morning, everyone. You are tuned in to VRP Medical Center's webinar entitled Masungit, Malungkot, Makulit, Kasama ba sa Pagtanda? This webinar is organized by Life Balance and Resiliency Center of VRPMC in partnership with Zonta International District 17. And to officially welcome us to the webinar, let us hear from the President of VRP Medical Center, Mrs. Virma Potenciano Vergel de Dios, for the welcome remarks.
A pleasant good morning to all our participants in today's webinar organized by the Life Balance and Resiliency Center, led by Dr. Mariano Lopez and Dr. Julian Yang. together with their team of consultants and medical staff. Most of you probably joined today because you have elderly family members, whether it's your parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties, or yourselves. Understanding and caring for the mental health of older adults in our family is crucial for their well-being and overall quality of life. As we gather today, I am reminded of a verse in Proverbs that says, "Listen to your father who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old." It is a biblical mandate that we should take care of our aging parents, a responsibility and an act of love that transcends generations. The title of our webinar is both thought-provoking and relatable. The theme is Masungit, Malungkot, Makulit. Kasama ba sa pagtanda? We are all eager to explore and answer this question, gaining insights from our distinguished speaker. We are most happy to have our speaker for today, Dr. Maurice Sanyosa, who is an expert psychiatrist from the VRP Medical Center Life Balance and Resiliency Center. The LBRC is one of the newest specialty centers of VRP Medical Center, and it's designed with a vision to make mental health services available and accessible to patients of all ages with the Alagang VRP care. Our love for older people is boundless, and one of the ways we can demonstrate that love is by understanding where they are coming from. Today, let's learn from our speaker who will provide us with essential guidance and principles for caring for our elderly loved ones. We hope that after this webinar, we will be better equipped to show them the love and care they truly deserve. This event forms part of the 50th anniversary celebration with 50 events scheduled for the whole year of VRP Medical Center. Thank you all for joining us, and we wish you a fruitful learning experience today. God bless us all. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ma'am Verma, for your opening remarks and for a gentle reminder of that biblical mandate to honor and to care for our aging parents and to care for their mental health and wellness of the older adults in our family. We know that this is really crucial for the well-being and overall quality of their life. Good morning, everyone. I'm Rosa Peranya from VRP Medical Center Marketing Department. Thank you for joining us today. Right now, we have over 60 participants in the room, and they keep coming. Yes, you got attracted to join today because of our webinar title, Masungit, Malungkot, Makulit. Kasama ba yan sa pagtanda? Well, if you think of others who should watch this webinar, feel free to share the Zoom link to them. Sharing is caring. The webinar is open to all, so share the link to others. In a short while, we will uncover the answer to that question from our speaker. Kasama ba sa pagtanda ang pagiging masungit, malungkot, o makulit? So stay tuned until the end of the webinar to learn some more. But of course, we would like to know where you're joining us from. So please, you can share your location in the chat box and let us know where you are watching this webinar from so that we can acknowledge your presence and get a sense of our diverse audience today. Thank you for those who will respond. You can you can write in the chat box where you are watching this webinar from. And well, as you do that, we will move now to hear about the importance of this topic, which will be presented to us by our Deputy Medical Director, a practicing cardiologist, who is the thought leader of the Life Balance and Resiliency Center of VRP Medical Center. So please welcome Dr. Mariano Lopez.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar, which I feel is quite very timely at this time, especially also already in the elderly years. Malungkot, masungit, makulit, kasama ba sa pagtanda? Well, according to the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, and learn well, work well, and contribute to their community. It is an integral component of health and well-being that underpins our individual and collective abilities to make decisions, build relationships, and shape the world we live in. Mental health to all is a basic human right. Mental health is more than the absence of mental disorders. On the other hand, resiliency is the process of an outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. The behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external internal demands. The question now looms, are old people by design have problems with mental health and resiliency? Is this a natural process of aging, or are we just misinformed? It is in this context that the Life Balance and Resiliency Center seeks to provide the appropriate perspectives and insights in an important issue at hand among old people. Malungkot, masungit, and makulit, kasama pa sa pagtanda, this time immemorial that the younger generation misunderstood their oldies, that certain characteristics and attitudes stereotype their seniors, that the latter should be taken as such because of their dwindling physical and mental capabilities. Let us now listen to an expert in geriatric medicine and psychiatry on the scientific views and basis of this controversial matter. Well, welcome to our distinguished speaker. Our distinguished speaker is Dr. Maurice Sanosa. Dr. Sanosa is a fellow of the Philippine College of Geriatric Medicine, a graduate of the Angeles University Foundation, an internist with fellowship training in geriatric medicine at St. Luke's Medical Center, Quezon City. He had his clinical attachment in geriatric medicine at the Royal Perth Hospital, Australia, and designated as a clinical assistant at the University of Western Australia. He completed the master course in dementia at Seoul, South Korea, and chosen as one of the recipients of Japan International Cooperative Agency Scholar in Hokkaido, Japan, for geriatric and dementia care program. His current positions are Chief of the Aged Care and Wellness and Memory Clinic of the National Center for Mental Health, and the Chief of Geriatric Pavilion of National Center of Mental Health, and Chairman of the Ethics Committee of the National Center for Mental Health. He's a member of the Therapeutics Committee and Immunization Program of the National Center for Mental Health. He's a member of the American Geriatric Society and past treasurer of the Philippine College of Geriatric Medicine. Geriatric Center of St. Luke's Medical Center, Quezon City. He's also an active consultant of the Metro Antipolo Hospital Medical Center, geriatric consultant of the Life Balance Resiliency of Victor R. Potenciano Medical Center, and medical consultant at the Clinica Manila and Philippine Television Network, PTV4. His current hospital affiliation are St. Luke's Medical Center, National Center for Mental Health, Metro Antipolo Hospital and Medical Center, and Victor R. Potenciano Center. So with these distinguished potentials, I feel that our speaker will be gladly to evaluate, to discuss this very important issue at hand. So without much ado, may I now call Dr. Maurice L. Sanosa for his lecture. Okay. You have now the floor, Dr. Sanosa.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir, and thank you for the kind introduction. And good morning to Ma'am Vilma and to all the staffs of the VRP Medical Center and the participants of this webinar. So before I start, I'm going to share my slides. Actually, first week of October, we're celebrating the Senior Citizen Week. And this is very timely to give you an issue, no, that we need to clarify about the behavior of some older persons. Now, by DOH po kasi and WHO, ang term na po natin sa mga senior citizen or yung mga tumatanda na po sa atin, ang kinocoin na po binibigay po ng WHO sa kanila are older person. So yung po ang tawag natin sa mga senior citizen na ginawa ng WHO, yung term na yon, ang tawag po sa kanila ay older person. So the webinar topics, malungkot, makulit, masungit, parte ba ng pagtanda? Well, when I had my training in Australia and in geriatrics, some of my mentors told me, Maurice, if there is some changes, no, in behavior of older person, always think something na may nangyayari sa kanilang brain, no? So there are some issues that to be clarified kung ano-ano yung mga nangyayari pong yon. So we're going to tackle some of the mental health issues in older person this morning. So the overview of this topic, so we'll give you some definition, the prevalence, the mental health issues in older persons, particularly dementia, depression, and other medical issues in the elderly that will affect, no, the behavior, the psychological behavior of the elderly, and some treatment options na kailangan rin natin malaman, meron pa ba tayong magagawa sa mga ganong mga behavior, no, na nakikita natin sa mga kasama nating older person sa ating bahay. So, well, this slides only depict us that hindi lang ang body changes, no, nangyayari kapag tumatanda tayo. Nagkakaroon tayo ng mga changes rin, no, psychologically sa atin. So take note, aside from the changes na nangyayari sa ating katawan, meron din tayong mga nangyayaring pagbabago, no, sa ating brain, no, na kailangan nating pagtuunan rin ng pansin. So based on the World Health Organization, kailangan po natin malaman ano bang correct definition ng mental health, no? Ang mental health is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. This is the complete definitions of the mental health according to World Health Organization. Magkaroon lang ng isa o mawalan lang ng isa dito, this is not the correct definitions of the mental health. Kailangan kompleto po ito na nandito, no? So based on the United Nations Population Fund, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina ng WHO at ang United Nations Population Fund, kinoy na nila kung anong tawag natin sa senior citizen. So itatawag po natin sa kanila ay older persons, no? Basically, they are defined according to a range of characteristics including chronological age, change in social role, and changes in functional abilities. And here in the Philippines, dapat more than 60 years old tayo. But in other developed countries, 65 years old ang kanilang cut-off para matawag silang older persons because they become eligible for old age social security system benefits. Hindi kamukha sa atin sa Pilipinas, pag nagkaroon tayo ng senior citizen card, doon pa lang tayo magiging eligible para matawag tayong older person. So based again on the United Nations Population Fund, classify nilang older persons to these 4 categories. 60 years old plus, they call it older or elderly person. 80 plus, oldest old. 100 plus, they call it centenarian, and 110, more than 110, ang itatawag po natin sa kanila ay super centenarian. So I hope sana kung face-to-face tayo, malalaman natin kung nasa ang category tayo dito, no, para mas ma-identify natin. Basically, meron na po tayong nakaabot ng 1 or 2, no? Doon sa more than 110 super centenarian, and mostly one I think is from China and the other one is from Japan. So these are the studies done by World Populations Aging on 2017. So ano po bang nakita nila dito? The number of older persons worldwide is expected to double by 2050. So it means dadami po ang makikita nating mga karamdaman na tama sa ganung mga edad ng mga older persons na common sa kanila, yung tinatawag natin geriatric syndrome. Marami pong lalabas kasi dadami po ang ating mga older person by the year 2050. And they found out that 1 in every 8 people ay merong edad pataas na 60 years old. And in extrapolate the data on going to 2015, at nakita nila sa 5 nakakatanda older persons, merong isa na over 60 years old. So base talaga sa study nila, dadami po ang ating mga older persons by 2050. And this very interesting study done by the United Nations Population Fund, they found out that older persons are becoming more likely to live alone and less likely to live with their children. And almost all countries are aging. Kung makikita po natin, ang Pilipinas ay hindi pa po masyadong nagkakaroon ng maraming mga older persons compared to other European and other Asian countries na meron na po tumatanda na rin po ang kanilang, marami na rin pong tumatanda sa kanilang lugar, no? Compared sa Pilipinas na konti pa lang po ang ating tumatanda o nagkakaroon ng more than 60 years old and above na citizen. So this was the study done by the United Nations Population Division. So in the Philippines, based on the Philippine National Statistics Office, noong 2012, there are 5,905,000 older people. And they extrapolated it to 2050 at sabi nila, sa data nila, ay magkakaroon tayong 23 million, no? More than 23 million na above 60 years old. At ang percentage po ng total populations nila na nag-represent on 2012 is 6.1%. At pag in-extrapolate natin by 2015, ang kanila pong total percentage ng population is 15.3%. The study done last 2012 based on their life expectancy for males 66 years old and for females 73. Now the ongoing life expectancy for male and female right now, the male now is 71 and the female is 72 to 73 years old. So medyo gumaganda na po ang life expectancy ng mga Pilipinong older person po natin ngayon. So in terms of the old age dependency ratio, ito po yung ratio ng people 65 years old and above to those of working age is 7%. At ang mga nakakatanda po natin na below the poverty line is nakakalungkot po, no? 1.3 million, napakarami po nila. And this one, the study was done 2012. So ibig sabihin, ngayon 2023, baka mas marami pa po silang nasa below poverty line. At ang older women as a percentage of the population ages 60 plus, 53.8%. So I think the government should look into it, no? Kung ano yung patutunguhan ng mga nakakatanda natin, no? After the retirement or after reaching the 60 years old. So dapat na pagtuunan ng pansin ang mga ating mga older persons, so above 60 years old and up. Now, what are the reasons why mental health problems can increase in age? Ano po ba ang mga kadahilanan bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng mga mental health problems as we get old, no? Una, yung tinatawag nating biological changes. A good example of this was yung brain po natin na apektuhan, nagkakaroon tayo ng difficulty in ability to process the information so coming out sa brain po natin. Nagkakaroon tayo ng forgetfulness and memory impairment. And sometimes they will lead na tinatawag po nating dementia na ang most common type of dementia is the Alzheimer's disease. Number 2, yung social changes. Andito na yung nagkakaroon tayo ng mga retirement na, yung mga anak natin, nag-aasawa, lumalayo sa atin, nagkakaroon ng sariling pamilya, bahay, no? Umaalis na sila isa-isa sa ating bahay. At dahil dito, nagkakaroon sila ng feelings of isolations or worthlessness, kaya dapat pagtuunan natin ng pansin, baka magkaroon na sila ng depressions or anxiety na kapag hindi natin matutukan or maagapan, ay baka magtuloy-tuloy po ito sa tinatawag na full-blown depression. And ang mas common po dito yung mga medical chronic conditions ng ating mga nakakatanda. At ito yung nagkakaroon na po sila ng stroke, Parkinson disease, heart disease, diabetes, and hypertensions. These are the most common illnesses that nag-encounter ng ating mga older person. And most of them are contributor to tinatawag po nating dementia, particularly the vascular type of dementia. And part of this is belong to the geriatric syndrome. When I said geriatric syndrome, this is the diseases or illnesses that are peculiar or common doon po sa mga older persons na nakikita po natin. So there was a study done by World Health Organization, no? Ang sabi nila, a multi-study of suicidal behavior in 13 European countries, 61.4, no, out of 100,000 older than 65 years old, nagko-commit po sila ng suicide. And the incidence of suicide of older person in the Philippines is, for men, is 2.5 per 100,000 and 1.7 for women per 100,000 population. This is based on the NSO 2017. So sa ngayon, wala pa yata lumalabas pong data. Ito pa lang po yung nakikita po natin data na done 2017. At ang sabi nila, ang explanation po nila dito, bakit mas marami sa lalaki ang nagko-commit ng suicide or the incidence of suicide is because ang female kasi is more open sa kanilang mga nararamdaman. Mas marami silang madali po nilang maikwento sa mga kasama sa bahay at marami silang mga social support. Hindi kamukha ng lalaki na mas kinikimkim nila ang kanilang mga nararamdaman. Ayaw nilang pumunta, no, o magkonsulta sa doktor kapag may nararamdaman sila. Kaya minsan na nangyayari, mas dumadami ang lalaki na nagkakaroon ng mga mental health problem as compared to female because of this reason. So kaya dapat magkaroon tayo ng awareness, no? Yung mga nararamdaman ng ating mga older persons ay dapat nating pagtuunan ng pansin. Yung mga single important things, sa mga change na nangyayari sa kanila, behavior, no, psychological, no, yung mga small things, no, dapat tutukan po natin because baka ito na po ang sinasabi po natin na common, no, na mga behavioral problems na na-encounter ng mga geriatric populations po natin, kamukha ng mga dementia, depression, no, and anxiety. So dapat aware po tayo sa ating mga nakikita at maging observant po tayo sa kanila. So in geriatrics, we have the 3 Ds. Dementia, depressions, and delirium. These are the most common psychological problem na na-encounter po natin sa mga older persons. So we have to differentiate these 3 Ds, no? Pag sinasabi po nating dementia, delirium, and depressions, meron po silang pagkakaiba-iba, no? Kaya lang, I will not go into detail, but I will mention some of the important things, no? Kamukha po nung course po nila. Pag sinabing dementia, this is progressive. Yung delirium po sa kanila ay fluctuating, no? Mostly ito ay very visible kapag nagdumidilim na. At ang depression po, fluctuating, kaya lang, ang opposite nito sa delirium is nagwo-worsen naman sila in the morning. No, in terms of perception, yung dementia is normal, ang delirium is impaired, at ang depression po is normal. At ang onset po nila, ang dementia is gradual, delirium is abrupt, ang depression is either gradual or abrupt. So, hindi lang rin po ito ang ginagamit po naming sukatan para ma-differentiate po natin ang dementia, delirium, and depression. Gumagamit rin po tayo na sinasabi po nating history taking, which is very important, no, to delineate kung ano ba talaga siya, kung dementia, delirium, or depression. So based on the National Council on Aging in the USA World Health Organization, the two most common mental disorders in older persons are dementia and depression. So dito po tayo tututok sa dalawa pong ito, yung dementia and depression. So when we say dementia, it is an acquired losses of cognitive and emotional abilities. It interferes with daily functioning and it affects the quality of life, and it's common to appear late in life. It occurs in 1% the age of 60 years old, and it doubles every 5 years. And as we get older, no, tumataas po ang percentage po na nagkakaroon ng dementia, and they accounted for approximately 30 to 50%. But now there is a new concept and definitions of dementia. So sabi dito, it is an acquired, persistent disease of the brain manifested by multiple areas of intellectual impairments and behavioral problems sufficient to disturb functional abilities. So hindi lang po memory ang naapektuhan po natin, no? Pati yung behavior at ang kanilang functionality ay naapektuhan pag sinasabi po nating dementia. Now, again, the 3 Ds of dementia. There is the degenerative neurological disease presenting with a declining cognition and deteriorating function. So again, memory impairment, no, functional impairment, and behavior impairment or problem that will occur kung meron po tayong mga dementia. Now, based on the statistics in the Philippines, na-project po nila that a number of people with dementia in the Philippines in 2015, 2030, and 2050, there will be approximately 1.15 million projected to have dementia by 2050 in the Philippines. So, kahit po sa atin na pag-aralan nila, natadami po ang taong magkakaroon ng dementia po dito sa ating bansa. And surprisingly, the prevalence of dementia among Southeast Asian countries, no, ang Philippines ay ranked second, no, sa prevalence in terms of dementia. So ibig lang po sabihin, kung pagtitingnan po natin ang graph pong ito, pumapangalawa po tayo sa Malaysia na merong mataas na prevalence in terms of dementia. So again, we have to differentiate ano ba yung normal aging against doon sa dementia, no? Meron pong pagkakaiba po doon. Pag sinabi po nating normal aging, yung forgetfulness po nila is very minimal and there's no change in other cognitive domains. So ibig po sabihin noon yung hindi po naapektuhan ang behavior nila, hindi po naapektuhan yung functionality nila, yung kanilang yung kanilang activities of daily living are still intact. Ano pong ibig sabihin nun? Nakakapag-self-care pa po sila, nakakapag-market pa po sila, nakakapagluto pa po sila, they can still do calculations and they can still manage their finances. And if you're going to subject them to neuropsychiatric testing of in the normal aging, no, ang kanila pong result will be normal. As compared to patients with dementia wherein their memory is very poor, no? Kanilang behavior is affected, no? Nagiging masungit sila, nagiging mapagbintang, no? Nagkakaroon sila ng mga hallucinations, mga delusions, no? Yung dati ang bait-bait, ngayon nagiging masungit na sila, no? Nagmumura. No? Then number 3, yung kanilang functionality. Dati kaya pa nilang mamalengke, kaya pa nilang magluto. Ngayon, hindi na nila nagagawa. Even yung pagsusuot ng damit properly, hindi na nila kaya. No? Yung mga activities of daily living na kamukha na sabi ko sa kanila are impaired na rin. At kapag sinubject po natin sila sa neuropsychiatric testing, they're going to have an abnormal result. So there is a big difference, no, kung anong ibig sabihin, kung ano yung normal aging against dementia. Then ito po yung sinasabi po nating domain ng dementia na naapektuhan, yung cognitions or yung memory, the functionality, as well as yung behavior. In the moderate to severe stage of dementia, all of these domains are being affected, no? But remember, in the early stage of dementia na sinasabi po natin, kamukha ng other neurocognitive illnesses, sometimes yung memory ang hindi na apektuhan. It's the functionality and the behavior ang mas nauna, followed by the memory impairment. So sa mga ganung kaso, mas kailangan po natin a good history taking para ma-delineate po natin if it is really a dementia caused by the Alzheimer's disease or other neurocognitive illnesses. So again, we have to differentiate normal aging against dementia. So in terms of memory, yung kanilang retrieval pareho is very slow. But in normal aging, the recall is accurate as compared with patient with dementia, the recall is inaccurate. And in normal aging, they need the retrieval is independent, while in patients with dementia, they need help from others to find items. And in normal aging, in terms of memory, nare-remedy sila by cues, no? Titingnan nila yung mga appointment book nila, kung anong schedule ng kanilang mga appointment. But as we compare it to patients with dementia, kahit na anong reminder, no? Kahit na anong appointment, nakakalimutan na nila. And in terms of progressiveness, the memory of patients with normal aging is stable as compared with patients with dementia. It is progressively declining. And eto pa, no? Yung normal aging, they misplace items infrequently, pero na-retrieve nila, naalala nila kung saan nila nailagay, no? Common dito yung mga susi, yung salamin. As compared with patients with dementia, hindi na nila makita kung saan nila nilagay yung kanilang mga gamit, no? Yung keys, yung wallet, yung eyeglasses, no? Even yung mga tinatago nilang mga documents, hindi na nila maalala. Kaya dito nangyayari, lumalabas yung behavioral problem na nagiging mas lungit sila kasi hindi na nila matrack kung saan nila nalagay. Naging mapagbintang na sila, no? At pag hindi nila nakuha ang gusto nila, nagiging palaaway na sila, no? Then, as compared for the directions, doon naman sa memory natin na normal aging, they can still follow the direction as compared to patients with dementia where if they could not follow the direction, ito yung nawawala na sila. At ang term namin dito is wanderer. Kapag meron tayong nabalitaan sa news na meron 60 years old or senior citizens na hinahanap ng pamilya na hindi na umuwi, most likely, that person is already have dementia kasi hindi na nila matrack yung direction pabalik ng bahay, no, pauwi sa kanila. At ang pagsi-self-care naman is kaya pa doon sa normal aging as compared to patients with dementia, hindi na nila kaya yung mga self-care. So magtataka tayo, dati si mommy, postura, nagpapa-parlor every month, nagpapagupit, nagpapa-pedicure, manicure, pero ngayon ayaw nang maligo. Ayaw na magpagupit ng buhok, ayaw na magpagupit ng kuko, no? Meron na tayong nakikitang pagbabago sa kanyang mga behavior na hindi niya ginagawa dati. So kapag gano'n na nangyayari, magsuspecha na tayo that there's something wrong with our lolo, lola, or even our parents. At ang functions ay hindi naman nag-i-interfere doon sa memory, but in patients with dementia, yung functionality nila ay naapektuhan. Ito yung dati kaya pa nilang maglaba, no? Kaya pa nilang magluto, kaya pa nilang mag-gardening. Ngayon ayaw na nila, hindi na nila kayang gawin. Minsan nagkakaroon na sila ng loss of interest sa mga dati nilang ginagawa. Ayaw na nilang lumabas ng bahay, mas gusto na nilang magstay doon sa loob ng bahay, no, kaysa makipagsalamuha sa iba. So yun yung mga nabanggit kong yun, ayun ang mga warning signs na dapat nating bantayan sa mga lolo, lola o parents natin na nagkakaroon ng mga behavioral changes na hindi naman dati nating nakikita, na dapat nating pagtuunan ng pansin at dapat nating ma-address kung ano yung mga pangyayaring yon sa kanila. Now, based on that criteria, ito yung DSM-4 pa, no? Kailangan meron tayong memory impairment plus any one of these, no? Impairment of language, recognition, execution, executive functioning, no? Pero right now, based on the DSM-5 criteria, basta memory impairment from and other neurological, cognitive illnesses, ay masasabi na rin natin those patients probably having a dementia. Now, This slides only tell us ano ba yung normal cognitive changes seen with aging. So sometimes yung kanilang memory or complaints are subjective, no? Some people or some older persons are annoying, but not disabling problems. They have frequent problems with name retrieval. They have minor difficulties in recalling detailed events. No, yun yung mga normal cognitive changes na nangyayari. Yung nagkakaroon lang sila ng delay sa pag-alala because yung kumbaga sa yung ating mga neurotransmitter sa brain ay nata-traffic lang, but eventually nare-recall naman nila. And if we're going to subject them to some cognitive testing, no, nagkakaroon lang sila ng impaired fluid abilities, no, which is a novel problem solving. Nagkakaroon lang sila ng konting deficiency in memory retrieval, but eventually they could recall it. Nagkakaroon lang sila ng decrease in general processing. So medyo bumabagal lang, no? Kumbaga sa nata-traffic lang ang pag-retrieve natin ng mga ating mga memory, but just give them time, maaalala nila. They have lower performance of executive functioning tasks, visual spatial skills, and visual motor speed, but eventually magagawa rin nila ito. So, yung mga normal cognitive changes is nangyayari siya, but nare-retrieve natin. Nagkakaroon lang tayo ng delay, but eventually makukuha rin natin, no? So, yun ang mga part na sinasabi nating normal cognitive changes as compared to patients with dementia. Kahit anong gawin natin, kahit anong tulong natin, ay hindi nila maaalala. At dahil doon, magkakaroon sila ng mga behavioral and functionality problem. Now, these slides only tell us that the most common type ng dementia is the pure Alzheimer's disease, followed by the vascular. No, ano po ba yung vascular Alzheimer? Ito po yung gawa ng coronary artery disease, hypertension, diabetes, no, yung stroke. So naapektuhan yung mga blood vessels natin sa brain kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng vascular type of dementia. But again, the most common type of dementia is the Alzheimer's disease. So the two most common dementia are your stroke, no? Ang tinatawag natin vascular injury, and also the Alzheimer's disease. In Alzheimer's disease, pag tinignan natin sila under the microscope, kapag pinag-aralan natin yung brain nila, makakakita tayo ng neurofibrillary tangles. Ito yung mga sinusinulid, no, na nag-entangled, no? Then magkakaroon din tayo ng sentinel plaque, na ang tawag sa Tagalog ay balakubak, no? Pag nakita natin to under the microscope, which is the histopathologic sign that your patients or our patients with dementia, ay meron na tayong problema doon. Then in terms of the vascular dementia, makikita natin sa CT scan, no, meron na tayong mga history of stroke or infarct or hemorrhagic or tinatawag po nating mga ischemic changes na nakikita through MRI or CT scan. But still, the treatment are the same pa rin po. So, ito yung most common nating tinatanong. Ano po bang pagkakaiba ng dementia sa Alzheimer's disease? Pag sinabi nating dementia, it is the name given to a group of diseases which have symptoms similar to Alzheimer's disease, and each of which has a different cause. So, general headings on dementia. Then under the dementia, we have several types, wherein the most common type of dementia is the Alzheimer's disease. No? So, general heading on dementia, and then there are several types of dementia. Ang most common is the Alzheimer's disease. Okay? So, tatandaan po natin na magkaiba po ang dementia at ang Alzheimer's disease. So, ano po ba yung Alzheimer's disease? It is the most common cause of dementia in the elderly. And its average duration is 8 to 11 years, and its prevalence doubles every 5 years from 6 to 8%, no, when you reach 65 years old. So ano po ba yung risk factors to develop Alzheimer's disease? So number 1 is age, no? Kailangan you're more than 60 years old, pero nakakakita na rin po tayo ng mga young onset of the Alzheimer's disease as far as 55 years old. So kailangan meron po tayong genetic influence, meron nagkaroon sa ating pamilya. There is an ApoE status, most common in female gender. At education plays an important factor also. Meron history of trauma at nagkakaroon po sila ng mga myocardial infarction. So these are the risk factors, no, to develop Alzheimer's disease. Now, ano ba ang nangyayari sa brain natin kapag meron tayong Alzheimer's disease? Meron po tayong neurotransmitter o substance sa brain na ang tawag po ay acetylcholine, no? Now, if there is a decrease in levels of acetylcholine, so naapektuhan po, no, yung mga transmissions, no, na nangyayari sa brain natin na nag-aalaw po sa nerve cells to set na naapektuhan po yung pagsiset ng messages sa brain natin. Because this acetylcholine is a natural chemical in the brain that allows nerve cells to send messages to each other. And these messages enable us to think, remember, and do everyday things. Now, if there is a decrease in acetylcholine, all of this transfer of messages, no, na nangyayari sa brain natin ay magkakaroon po ng problema. So remember, kapag meron po tayong dementia, meron po naapektuhan na substance or neurotransmitter sa brain natin at ang ito ay ang acetylcholine. Now, this slide only depict us kung ano nangyayari sa brain natin kapag nagkakaroon tayo ng dementia. So kamukha nito, mag-i-start tayo ng amyloid generations. Yung sinabi ko sa kanina na kapag tinignan natin sa microscope, nagkakaroon tayo ng plaque and neurofibrillary tangles. Now, there are several processes na nagkakaroon na nangyayari sa brain natin para magkaroon tayo ng dementia. Ito yung tinatawag na excitotoxicity, oxidation, inflammations, or pamamaga, no? And all of these things will contribute to cell death. Kapag nagkaroon tayo ng cell death doon sa brain, nagkakaroon tayo uli ng cholinergic deficit or a decrease in acetylcholine. Sabi po nga natin kanina, ang acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter in the brain that is responsible for the transmission of signals and messages in the brain natin. So kapag naaapektuhan, ay naaapektuhan rin po yung transmission po natin. So ito yung mga cycles, no, na nangyayari sa brain po natin. Now, Alzheimer's disease and amyloid cascade hypothesis. So meron tayong 4 pathologic categories na nangyayari. Ang CSF po kasi is the important fluid sa brain natin na napag-aralan ng mga espesyalista. No? Kapag po tayo ay meron tayong history or familial ng Alzheimer's disease, napag-aralan po nila at the age of 30, meron na po tayong amyloid deposition sa CSF. No? As it progresses, pag nakita po natin by the age of 60, pag kumuha po tayo ng sample ng CSF, makikita po natin ang neurofibrillary tangles by the age of 50. No? So ang sabi nga natin na ang neurofibrillary tangles one of the histopathologic, no, na masasabi po natin that are patients most probably having dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Now, by the age of 60, nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga neuronal loss, no, na sinasabi na makikita sa neuroimaging. Nagkakaroon po tayo ng brain atrophy. As compared doon naman, pagdating natin ng mga age 70, kapag pinagawa natin ng clock drawing test yung pasyente, hindi na nila magawa yung clock drawing test. So ano lang po ibig sabihin natin, no? A CSF is a good sample to analyze, no, kung meron po tayong probable Alzheimer's disease. So eto, 10 most common presenting symptoms of dementia. No, ang American Association of Neurology 2002 listed the most common presenting symptoms of dementia. Until now, ito pa rin po ang ginagamit po natin, no, the 10 most common presenting symptoms of dementia. So kailangan mag-observe tayo, baka meron na tayong may mga kasama sa bahay nito, no? Yung memory loss affecting home or job skills, na apektuhan na yung araw-araw nating paggawa sa ating bahay, even doon sa ating pagtrabaho. Difficulty performing familiar tasks, yung mga dating ginagawa, hindi na magawa. Nagkakaroon na ng problems with language, no? Nahihirapan na makipag-communicate, hindi na niya alam kung anong gusto niyang sabihin, no? Nagkakaroon na rin ng disorientation in time and place, no? Hindi na niya alam ang oras, yung lugar, no? I have some patients, nagkaroon na sila ng several appointment, hindi pa rin sila nagtatagpo kasi ibang lugar ang napupuntahan or yung iba naman, ibang araw o oras sila pumupunta. So nagkakaroon na ng problema sa kanilang pag-meet, no? Yung poor judgment is the number 5, no? Nagkakaroon tayo ng problema sa judgment. The number 6, problems with complex tasks and abstract thinking. Ito yung number 7, yung most common, misplacing things, no? Yung mga personal natin palaging ginagamit, yung susi, no? Yung salamin, yung mga jewelries natin, yung mga watch, kung saan-saan natin nalalagay na eventually hindi na natin ma-recall. Ang ending na pagbibintangan natin yung mga kasama natin sa bahay na ninanakaw yung mga gamit natin. Ako personally, pag may patients ako na dinala sa clinic ko at tinanong ko, nagbibintang na po ba siya na nawawalan siya ng mga bagay, that is already a cue for me that this patient is probably suffering from dementia. Nagkakaroon na ng changes in personality, nagiging masungit, no? Palagi nagbabago yung kanyang moods, no? Minsan mabait, tapos paano apparent reason, biglang magagalit, magsusungit, no? Ito rin, nagkakaroon changes in mood and behavior, no? Ito yung mga nakikitang madalas sa pasyenteng merong symptoms of dementia. And then number 10, yung loss of initiative. Nawawala na siyang gana, no? Gumalaw sa kanilang bahay, sa kanyang sarili, even yung pakikipag-meet sa friends, ayaw na niyang gawin, mas gusto niya nag-i-stay sa bahay or matulog, no? At humarap na lang sa TV, even yung kung nagiging palabasa yung tao, ayaw na magbasa, mas gusto na lang matulog or manood ng TV, ayaw makipag-usap sa mga kasama sa bahay, even yung mga old friends niya, ayaw na niyang i-meet. So nagkakaroon ng mga changes na. So kapag meron tayong nakita ng ganitong ganitong mga changes, no, sa ating mga kasama sa bahay, siguro that's the time na kailangan ipasuri natin or dalhin natin sa ating mga kilalang doktor at para ma-work up natin sila ng maaga. Now, dementia is a clinical diagnosis. So ano ibig sabihin ito? Meron tayong mga ginagawang pag-assess sa kanila. Una, ina-assess natin yung presenting problems, no? Tinatanong natin ano po ba ang naging problema ng kasama ninyo sa bahay ni lolo at ni lola, kailan nagsimula ito. Dito papasok yung informant-based history. Kasi ang pagdadiagnose po ng dementia, yung history, yung medical background po niya is very important. It will contribute 70 to 80% para makapag-diagnose po tayo ng dementia po. Then tinitingnan po natin yung physical and neurologic examination. Then ini-evaluate po natin yung cognitive, behavioral, and functional status. Meron po kaming tinatawag na comprehensive geriatric assessment wherein ang pag-evaluate sa cognitive, behavioral, and functional status ay kasama na po, nakapasok na po doon sa tinatawag po natin comprehensive geriatric assessment. So yun po basically ang ginagawa po natin sa mga pasyenteng may mayroong problema po na katulad ng mga nabanggit ko. So, kapag na-diagnose naman natin, meron naman tayong na-offer ng mga gamot ngayon, no? Meron tayong donepezil, which we give to patients at the early stage of dementia, as well as the rivastigmine, no? Yung galantamine, hindi na available dito. Now, yung memantine, binibigay naman natin in moderate to severe stage of dementia. At meron tayong mga neuroprotective agents, yung acetylcholine and piracetam. Importante po doon sa patients diagnosed with vascular dementia ay makontrol natin yung kanilang hypertension, diabetes, hyperlipidemia, and modifications on their lifestyle. No? We also make use of the antithrombotic or anticoagulant. And number 3, yung tinatawag po natin acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, which compose of donepezil and rivastigmine, as well combinations of memantine. Now, this past few months, lumabas na po yung tinatawag nating mild cognitive impairment, no? Which is a pre-dementia syndrome, no? Iba po ito sa tinatawag nating dementia wherein ito pong stage pong ito ay maaari po nating ma-reverse yung tinatawag nating mild cognitive impairment. Ang binibigay naman po natin dito ay yung sinasabi po nating Thevenin forte coming from the EGB 761 extract, no? So iba naman po ang mild cognitive impairment na sinasabi. Now, let's go to depressions of older person, which is also one of the most common psychological problem encountered by our older person. It is a prominent conditions among older people. It affects well-being with significant impact on quality of life among older person. And if it's not diagnosed properly, it has a high morbidity and mortality. And depression that develops in later in life is more likely to bear some relationship to physical findings. So very important rin nating ma-rule out na ang kasama natin sa bahay na may mga behavioral changes ay mayroong depression. The prevalence is 2.6 to 29.5% worldwide, but in the Philippines, based on the World Health Organization, the prevalence of depressions among older person is 5.3%, no? And it is most common in the province of Rizal, no? 6.6%, using the short form of the geriatric depression scale. Ito pong geriatric depression scale is ginagamit po namin sa pag-assess ng pasyenteng may simptomas ng depression. Now, based on the Canadian Psychological Association, the prevalence of depression in older person is low, 3 to 5%. And because of this, no, akala kasi nila na ang pangungulila ng isang matanda is a normal part of aging. Number 2, it's also confused with other illnesses. Baka nag-o-overlap lang, no, to other illnesses. Kaya ganito kababa ang nakuha nilang prevalence in terms of depressions in older person. Now, recognitions and diagnosis of late-life depressions can be difficult because older adults may complain of lack of energy or other somatic symptoms. It attributes the symptoms to old age or other physical condition. And sometimes they neglect to mention their conditions to the health professionals. So this is based on the American Geriatric Society study. Kaya minsan, yung mga kasama natin sa bahay, kapag nagko-complain ng mga kasama natin may edad sa bahay, sinasabi lang nila na, ano lang yan, humihingi lang ng attention yan, or naghahanap lang yan ng kausap, o kasi tumatanda na, kaya ganyan. No? Parang sinasabi nila everything that happened, so mga changes in the behavior of an older person, ang iniisip nila is parte lang ng pagtanda. No? Pero dapat nating pagtuunan that these changes are signify, no, na may mga nangyayaring problema sa kanila. So based on the DSM-5, 5 or more of the following present during the 2 weeks period. So ito yung mga symptoms, no, na nangyayari kapag meron tayong may depression na ating mga may edad na kasama sa bahay. Of course, depressed mood, no, palaging malulungkutin. Loss of interest or pleasure in activities, yung mga dating ginagawa nila, hindi na nila nagagawa. There is significant weight loss or gain or decrease in appetite, no? Walang ganang kumain, or sometimes may mga pasyente naman kain ng kain, no? There is insomnia or hypersomnia, pero most common dito ay hindi nakakatulog. So nagkakaroon ng problema sa pagtulog. There is psychomotor agitations or retardations, no? Madali silang magalit, mainis, no? Nagkakaroon sila ng mga sudden changes in their behavior. There is fatigue or loss of energy. Pakiramdam nila wala na silang saysay sa buhay. There is feeling of worthlessness. There is diminished ability to think or concentrate. Yung kanilang ability to think properly, yung pagko-concentrate nila ay naapektuhan. And sometimes, ang pinaka-end stage nito ay there's recurrent thoughts of death, suicidal ideation. There is attempt or plan to commit suicide. Sabi nga nila, kapag ang matanda nag-iisip na sana mawala na ako o sana sumunod na ako sa asawa niya, no? Dapat nating pagtuunan ng pansin to, no? Most likely, yung kasama natin sa bahay na may edad ay nagkakaroon ng depression. So ang management naman, meron tayong tinatawag na non-pharmacologic, no, na binibigay. Hindi po tayo nagbibigay ng gamot dito. Pag sinabi ng pharmacology, ito po yung binibigyan natin sila ng mga psychotherapy, no? ah Kinakausap po nila, inaalam po natin ang kanilang mga problema at pinapayuhan based on the psychotherapeutic management na binibigay natin. Sometimes ginagawa rin natin to in combination with the pharmacology, combinations ng gamot and non-pharmacology. But most common dito yung mga psychotherapy sessions or yung cognitive behavioral therapy ang binibigay po natin sa mga pasyenteng nagmamanifest ng depression. Now, meron rin naman tayong ginagamot na ang gamot na binibigay sa kanila, ang first line, yung escitalopram, kung familiar po kayo dito, fluoxetine and sertraline. Yung second line naman, yung venlafaxine family. And the third line is the combinations of the antipsychotic medication in combinations with the antidepressant medications. Now, of course, the choice of drugs will depend on patients' comorbidities, the drug side effects, patient sensitivity, drugs potential for interacting with other medications. So ano lang po ibig sabihin po dito? Maingat po tayo sa pagbibigay ng gamot sa may mga edad na nagkakaroon ng ganitong mga sakit, no? Iniiwasan natin na magkaroon sila ng mga potential side effect, no, sa pag-inom ng mga gamot. Kasi ang kanilang katawan ay iba, no, iba sa mga nakakabata. But we make sure na ang gamot na binibigay po namin sa kanila ay hindi sila magkakaroon ng problema. So ito po ang ginagamit po natin. Sa ating clinic ay meron po kami tinatawag na comprehensive geriatric assessment wherein the main focus is the improvement of quality of life. No? Ito po ina-analyze po natin ang pasyente kung may dementia, may depression, meron decline sa functionality, may problema sa behavior, ang kanilang mga gamot, ay may mga drug-drug interactions na nagkakaroon sila ng mga problema. So lahat po yun ay nakaloob po sa comprehensive geriatric assessment as well the nutrition. No? Tinitingnan din po nito kung sila ay malnourished, well-nourished, no? or tinatawag po natin overnutrition. It allows the physician to identify the clinical and psychosocial geriatric syndrome. Again, yung geriatric syndrome, ito yung the most common illnesses that are peculiar among geriatric populations. Yung mga common na sakit sa kanila sa may mga may edad ay ating pong tinitingnan din at inaalam. So, ito po yung mga kasama, no, doon sa comprehensive geriatric assessment. We test for depression, dementia, delirium. Tinitingnan rin po natin kung merong elderly abuse na nangyayari sa kanilang pamamahay. Pasyente po ba ay high risk for falls or madaling matumba na maaring mauwi doon sa tinatawag nating fracture? Yung polypharmacy, nagkakaroon po ba ng mga drug-drug interactions sa dami ng gamot na kanilang iniinom? Incontinence, no? Yung may problema ba sa pag-ihi o even doon sa pagbabawas, no? Pagdudumi, tinitingnan natin kung baka may mga problema. Ina-assess rin natin kanilang nutrition, sensory impairment, even the movement disorders. Meron ba kami nakikitang problema sa paggalaw ni Lola at ni Lolo na kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin? All of these are incorporated doon sa tinatawag po nating comprehensive geriatric assessment. Ito po ang tools na ginagamit po natin for older person para ma-detect po natin ang mga ganitong problema. Hindi lang po yun, tinitingnan rin po natin yung mga other health issues of older person. Sabi nga doon sa National Council of Aging, yung mga chronic health conditions kamukha ng heart disease, stroke, cancers, and diabetes, ina-assess po rin po natin, no? Base on the physical injury, sabi nga sa pag-aaral, senior dies every 29 minutes of physical injury. And the leading cause of injury among elderly contributing to the disease are the osteoarthritis and osteoporosis. So tinitingnan rin natin yung kanilang functionality. If they are high risk for falls, no, para maiwasan po natin ang mga ganitong aksidente. Yung malnutrition, no, it weakens their immune system and muscle weakness kapag hindi na-diagnose. Yung mga sensory impairments like yung vision and hearing, tinitingnan natin. Bakit kaya madalas mahilo si lola? Bakit kaya madalas nadapa? Baka may malabo lang ang mata o baka may mga cataract, no? Then yung mga oral health malnutrition, dadalhin sa amin baka ayaw walang ganang kumain or nahihirapan ngumuya or walang panlasa. So titingnan natin baka meron silang mga oral health problem, no? Or meron silang mga ipin na sira na nagko-contribute sa pag-iba ng lasa, no? Tinitingnan rin natin yung mga substance abuse, no? Yung mga kamukha ng mga alcohol or yung mga drug-related problem na kinikita natin. Sometimes hindi lang po alcohol and drug. Meron rin po tayong tinatawag na multiple prescriptions for long-term use. Kamukha nung kadalasan nakikita natin, nagpapareseta na lang for so long, no? Matagal nang iniinom ang reseta pero walang follow-up sa doktor, no? Kaya minsan ang mga gamot ay nagkakaroon ng pagkakapare-pareho, nagmumultiple because nagpapagawa na lang ng prescription kahit hindi nakikita na ng doktor. No? Yung po ang ating mga iniiwasan. Incontinence, problema sa bladder at bowel because it affect the quality of life ng ating mga older person. Okay? Now again, in 3Ds, in geriatrics, ang ating tinutuunan, dementia, depressions, and delirium. And with these slides, no, aging can bring about unique health issues, and therefore it is important to understand the challenges faced by people as they age and recognize that there are preventive measures that can place yourself on a path to healthy aging leading to quality of life. Ang goal lang naman po natin dito among older person is to give them the best and utmost care, no, to achieve their quality of life. So I think this will be my last slide. But before I end, no, meron lang tayong short movie clip na maaring tumatak sa inyo na maiintindihan ninyo yung mga changes na pagbabago, no, sa ating mga kasama sa bahay na may mga edad. So ating pong panoorin.
Pagtapos ito,
Nanonood ba po tayong movie?
movie, movie, sige. Manunod tayo ng movie. Teka, ano bang gusto mong panoorin?
Kahit ano po.
Kahit ano, parang ang dami nun ah.
Kulit naman eh. Kanino ko ba sinasabing alas 10 pa lang? Mamaya pa tanghalian. Dami-dami kong trabaho.
Gutom na.
Eh di kumain ka mag-isa mo.
Mm. Kalat-kalat mo naman, oh. Kain na ka. Ha?
Apo. Sorry, Daddy. Nalaglag ko yung kutsara ko.
Kita mo to? Ay! Nahulog din! Okay lang yun, nak, ha? Basta next time, iingat ka, ha? Ha? Okay? Okay, kain na tayo ulit. Teka, ito na lang, kaya, ha? Ito, ha? Subuan na kita, ha? Oh. Kaya mo? Bakit? Big boy ka na ba? Hindi ka na pwedeng subuan? Ikaw talaga.
Diyos ko naman, Dad! Ayusin mo naman pagkain mo, oh! Kain ka pa ng bata! Imbes na pumasok ko, maglilikpit pa ako ng pinagkainan mo.
Kompleto naman, saka maayos, maayos. Basta yung delivery bukas, okay?
Daddy,
Oo.
napawiwi po ako sa short ko.
Sandali lang ha, pare ha. Tatawagan kita ulit ha. Ano yan, nak?
Napawiwi po ako sa short ko.
Mawiwi ka. Okay lang yan, nak. Nung maliit ako, umiihi rin ako sa shorts. Sige, palitan na natin yung shorts mo, bilis. Tara! Yeah!
Ano yan? Dad! Lapit-lapit lang ng CR. Dito ka ba sa sala umihi?
Yan, kayo. Kami na anak ko, puntahan namin dito.
Daddy, laro na po tayo.
Sandali lang ha, sandali lang. Tawagin na lang kita mamaya ha. Ano anak?
Laro na po tayo.
Laro tayo, ano naman? O sige, maglaro tayo. Pasa mo sa akin yan. O, gagawin mo ngayon. O, gagawin mo ngayon. O, asan na? Asan na? Wala na.
Dad, pagod na ako. Paulit-ulit na lang tayo dito, Dad. Dad, please.
Dad, sorry I love you.
I will take care of you all the time, anak. I love you so much.
I love you too, Daddy.
Are they masungit? Makulit?
My father
Lungkot?
died 55 years old because of a heart attack, sir. My mother is still alive.
Well, I think women live longer. My mother died 98 years old. My father 72. Kaya I had the fortune of taking care of her
Yes,
at
sir.
the last 5 years of her life.
Mhm.
He was
Mas
very
mahaba ang
happy.
buhay ng babae kaysa sa lalaki.
Bakit kaya? Bakit kaya, Maurice?
Kasi
Kaya ba talaga sa partnership, lugi ang lalaki?
sir, kasi sabi nila, of course, number one kasi is, ang mas maganda daw ang outlook ng mga babae, no? Magaling sila magmarites, no? Yan ang kanilang mga pangtanggal ng stress. As
Mukhang
compared
bang babae ata marunong magbadyong lagi nagbabadyong ang lalaki, hindi marunong magbadyong ata eh.
Saka sir, ang mga lalaki kasi exposed sa mga risking trabaho no? Compared
Yeah.
sa mga babae. So,
Yeah, that's
kaya
good.
mas maraming mga accident na nangyayari sa lalaki. Saka mas nagko-consult sila compared sa lalaki. Sa lalaki, bahay lang, pahinga lang to. Pero ang babae, unang maramdaman, consult na lang. I think sir, yung hormones din is one of the protective factor ng babae.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think you will open, you will
Yes,
entertain
Doc.
questions, yeah?
Yes,
So
Doc.
Rose will be the one to get the questions and
All right, Doc.
let's see.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Sanyosa, for that very enlightening and mind-opening presentation. No,
Thank
with
you.
very interesting yung mga statistics of the older persons. We're calling them now older persons, not
Other
senior
person.
citizens, no?
Mhm.
Yes, and for that, Doc, for that very touching and heartwarming closing video. Yes, that really hit home. All right, so Doc, this is now the question and answer portion. But before we ask the first question, no, I'd like us lang to do something in application of what we learned. No, parang we want the participants here to participate, no. This is the thing, no. Before we ask the first question, if you're watching, to our participants right now, kanina we almost have 90 participants. No, now right now we have 80. If you're watching this webinar right now and you are, no, kanina we asked where were you joining us from. Some are from Quezon City to Quezon Tiaong. We have joiners from Alabang, from DF Homes, from as far as Melbourne, no, Australia. Meron tayong participants doon. Now, if you are watching this webinar and you are with a senior or an older person beside you, or inside the same room that you are right now. Medyo ano ko lang, gusto ko lang can I request you to just give them a big hug right now? No, if you are with an older person at home na you're watching this with, give them a big hug, no? 20 seconds hug. And then, well, if you don't have anyone with you, but you have as an older person in the family, or you know some, you can also participate. Send them a hug, a sticker hug, or an emoticon hug via Viber or message. If you're an older person, no, you're alone watching, we are giving you our warm virtual hug from VRP Medical Center, our Alagang VRP hug. We want to appreciate you. Let's do it. No, I'm giving you 20 seconds. Doc, di ba, pag may 20 seconds hug, may tawag sila doon, parang it releases oxytocin, right, Doc? Tama ba, Doc Sanyosa? Pag when you hug, you are releasing oxytocin hormone.
Yes, so yung mga hormones natin, no, na nai-impart natin.
Yeah, yes. So why don't you give your older person in the family a big hug right now? Ayan. So, sige.
Actually, Rose,
Yes, Doc.
Rose, actually, I was touched also by that video. Because I always, I just told you, I took care of my mother last 5 years of her life. Alam mo, I'm the youngest of my 7 children, and they want to put her in what you call this, home for the aged. I told them, kung nung bata kayo, inalagaan kayo ng nanay ko, maski lang wala kayong what you call this, yung wala kayong worth, ba't gayon pa matanda na ayaw ninyong alagaan yung nanay niyo? Kaya that was the one that's why I got her from our family house and took care at sa bahay ko for 5 years before he died of pneumonia. But I think that should be the concept here. Na kung nung bata kayo, baby kayo, almost 5 years ka no kay infant, toddler, you are of no use. Sakit lang kayo ng ulo, inalagaan kayo to the minimum of paligo, pagkain. Pag tumanda na ang nanay niyo, parents niyo, you really look at them as parang useless. I think it should be the attitude, not older people are really worth the time that they gave to you when your childhood.
Yes,
Kaya nga sabi mo nga, yun, I think.
Yes,
That
Doc,
is right.
all of us will get older then eh.
Yeah,
Just a matter of time, diba? Yes.
yeah, that's right, that's right.
Yeah. We don't want to be preachy here, but yes, you're right na, Doc. It's kanina binanggit ni Ma'am Verma sa opening niya, remarks niya, the biblical mandate to honor our parents, no. And then there's a promise to that. It will be well with us and we will be prosperous. So let us continue loving, honoring, caring, and appreciating our older person in the family and in the community. Yan. So we will go now with the questions, Doc, from our participants, no. Meron mga nag-write doon sa chat box. So I'll get the first question, Doc, and Dr. Lopez and Dr. Sanyosa, you can answer them. The first question here is from Gino Makatibag. Neurodegenerative disease began to increase since the introduction of radio frequencies and vaccination. There are many published evidence, example, PubMed. Would you like to comment on that, Doc?
Actually kasi when you say there's no definite we need a lot of data and study to what to call this to prove it, but as of now there's still no data pa rin, we still believe that neurodegenerative disorder is still part of the tinatawag natin genetically inclined pa rin, specifically those belongs to the younger 60 years old na lumalabas yung neurodegenerative diseases like the Lewy body and the Lewy body disease and the Parkinson's dementia pa rin, mga sinasabi natin. But of course, hindi natin kailangan i-neglect rin yung study niya because there's still study, but we need still to explore it if there is a talagang
Hello.
related pa rin doon.
Yes. All right. We need more evidences. We need more studies on this.
Yes, this is Rom.
Ah,
Hello,
can we unmute?
Rose, probably let's suggest that they
I'm
put it
not
in the
even
chat box
saying
para
either.
we could
Yeah,
have
they
it.
are actually,
Thank you.
Doc, they are all in the chat box. So we
Kasi
we pulled out
probably we could
pulled out the
probably
questions from
unmute
yeah.
everybody and have it in the chat box para there are so many
Yes.
questions already in queue.
Yes.
We could probably start no. So I'll
Alright.
ask the second. I'll give the second question.
Yes, Doc.
How
sure.
is geriatric assessment conducted or offered to low-income and poverty-stricken older persons in the Philippines? This was coming from Norminda. So how is geriatric assessment conducted offered to low-income and poverty-stricken older persons in the Philippines?
Actually, sir, in partnership with the Department of Health, they already made short versions of the comprehensive geriatric assessment that had been taught to the barangay level. And from that barangay level, if they found out that there's need more reassessment, ina-escalate nila ito doon sa other hospital, tinatawag nilang level 3 hospital, under the DOH rin, kamukha ng National Center for Geriatric Health. And then number 2, kami, the National Center for Mental Health, we do the comprehensive geriatric assessment free for the indigent patients. So they can go there and have a reassessment. Pero
Could
sa
we have that
level pa lang,
geriatric
meron na
assessment
sila.
through online? Pwedeng online yan ba?
Yes, sir. Pwede
Then
naman.
probably from there, parang screening.
Yes, sir. A skilled, trained
Okay.
personnel, like I have to mention, in the other institutions, sir, we have a skilled nurse, geriatric nurse, who do the online, comprehensive geriatric assessment, because we know naman na ayaw na nilang dalhin pa sa hospital, expose pa nila yung mga older person nila, nadalhin sa hospital. So online ngayon ang comprehensive, which is, sir, aminin namin mas madami ang nag-online ng comprehensive geriatric assessment now compared sa face-to-face.
Okay, thank you. Rose, next question.
Yeah. The next question, what can private hospitals do to address these mental and emotional concerns that lead to clinical issues and vice versa, since some conditions have clinical issues triggering them? Dr. Sanyosa and even Dr. Lopez probably could answer this, Doc.
Siyempre, nag-i-start ito doon sa family member, sa pasyente. Huwag nating lalagyan ng hindrance yung sinasabi ng mga pasyente para malaman rin ng doktor kung ano yung mga nararamdaman niyang mga nangyayaring mga changes. Huwag nating i-ignore yung mga changes na nakikita natin, na sasabihin lang natin is parte lang ng pagtanda. Because kapag inisip natin yung parte ng pagtandang yon na nagmamanifest, hindi mapapansin ng doktor yan, hindi mababanggit. But for other doctors siguro, we try to get a good history, kulitin natin ano ba yung mga changes na nangyayari sa may mga kasama nating may edad sa bahay. Honestly, sometimes kasi siguro sa dami ng pasyente natin, kung ano lang yung complaint, headache, mataas ang BP, yun lang minsan natutuunan natin ng pansin. But we have to dig up on the psychological aspect rin ng mga elderly. That's why in some institution, they offer the comprehensive geriatric assessment, especially those 70 years old. Kasi pagdating pa lang doon, makikita mo na meron talagang impact ang comprehensive geriatric assessment for that age group population.
And we have that in VRP Medical Center,
yes,
right,
we
Doc?
also do that, the comprehensive geriatric assessment dito sa Life Balance and Resiliency Center.
Yes.
Actually, my approach there is that a healthy body is a healthy mind. I think we should also emphasize na not all dementia are due to what you call this Alzheimer's. It could also be due to cardiovascular diseases, yung mga strokes, heart diseases. That's why very important yung tinatawag nilang healthy lifestyle. Okay, especially when you getting old. I always tell them that when you get old, your body is like a car na it's already old, dilapidated. The parts there are already rusty, and very important na you prevent it from deterioration by having healthy lifestyle, healthy food, okay? And if you have any comorbidities, hypertension, diabetes, you treat them well. At the same time, very important yun, avoid stress. Very healthy mind will also protect your body. Yun lang. So probably for those older people, try to have a regular consult with your doctors, especially that some diseases comes at late of the life. Some diabetes comes at the age of 60. Some hypertension will go at the age of above again during the elderly age. Yeah, very important yun ano. And I think also for all elderly, I really suggest na you have, especially if there are already some symptoms, magpa-comprehensive geriatric assessment to really determine whether that problem in the elderly or the older person is really what you call this due to normal aging or to a disease. So that's my take-home message here. Yeah, Rose?
Yes, I think, yeah, on that note, Doc, important yung participation ng loved ones, no? Which brings me to the next question. Sabi rito, what can the loved ones do as the 3Ds, the dementia, delirium, and depression, no, progress, especially if finances are a challenge?
Okay. Rose, remember kasi in 3Ds, may offer naman tayong mga tinatawag na non-pharmacologic management, no? Na sinasabi, hindi lang lahat to pharmacologic, no? May mga some study that will support that pharmacologic could also help those patients. Ano ba yung pharmacologic? Lagi natin kausapin yung yung kasama natin sa bahay. Bigyan natin sila ng activity, no? Number 3, bigyan natin sila ng healthy foods, no, na maaaring makatulong, no, to boost their immune system. Then number 4, provide them good exercises that can be do sa bahay nila. Pero meron naman tayong mga hospital rin na government hospital that can cater on that 3Ds, no, na sinasabi nilang mga nakikita nilang problema. They can go on their government hospital na nag-o-offer rin ng mga ganyang mga services na sinasabi. But at home, they can do the non-pharmacologic. Kamukha ng mga nasabi ko.
Yes, kailangan lang talaga you spend time, no? Yung sinabi niyo, Doc, talagang the loved ones, we really have to spend time for them, no? That necessarily spend, no? Hindi lahat financials ang sagot.
Isingit ko lang kasi mostly ginagawa lang na, sige manood ka ng TV, iiwan na natin, no? This is totally wrong. We discourage yung TV sa kanila because it's only a one-way communication. Walang nakukuha ang kasama natin sa bahay. Manunood lang siya, makikita lang niya, pero walang interaction na nangyayari. Walang nag-i-stimulate sa brain. So mas maganda kung manunood siya, may kasama ka, tanungin mo, ano ba ang nangyari? Sino ba mga artista na nandiyan? O tingin mo ba tama ba ang ginagawa? Kailangan it's a two-way communication, two-way interaction, hindi lang one-way. Kaya nga may mga study ngayon, dinidiscourage ang TB, no, sa may mga patients with dementia because they only provide a one-way interaction, hindi maganda.
We will keep on talking to them kahit na sinasabi nga natin sometimes medyo may kakulitan, ano, because they tend to forget what they said or what they answered already. Okay. The next question, Doc, is what if the older person is mentally okay but functionally impaired? What can be done for the old person to have quality of life without having to sacrifice the quality of life of the family members or carers?
Siyempre, ako pa rin naniniwala ako na kailangan ma-evaluate ang pasyente bakit nagkaroon tayo ng functional decline, no? Hindi normal na magkaroon kaagad ng functional decline ang mga pasyente. Kamukha ng sinabi ko kanina, meron tayong mild cognitive impairment that can also affect the functionality and the behavior, but not necessarily this is dementia. no? So
Mm-mm.
kailangan ma-evaluate mabuti ang pasyente para masabi natin na wala siyang psychologically na problem. Now, kung wala naman at clear tayo sa aspect na yon, syempre ang functionality naman may improve natin yan sa bahay, give them some activities, no? Give them yung tatawag nating exercises that can we provide at home na maaari nilang magawa. But better pa rin, ako kasi naniniwala kapag may functional decline, meron tayong problema na nangyayari. So baka minimal pero naapektuhan ang decline na yun. Pero dapat maklear natin na wala tayong cognitive or psychological problem kaya siya nagkaroon ng functional decline. Kaya nga, sabi ko nga kanina kung natatandaan nyo, ang domain ng dementia is cognitive, functional, and behavior. Pwedeng mauna ang alin doon sa tatlong yon. So dapat maklear natin na wala tayo talagang problema sa aspect na yon.
Mhm. Thank you for that, Doc.
Rose, I think
yes, Doc.
the next question, what can be done for the old person to have quality of life without having to sacrifice the quality of life of the family carers? I think this is very important to know for those who have old people in the family, that you take care of your old people, not because it's a duty, but because you really care for them. You love them because you want to. That's why caring them should not decrease your quality of life. It will improve your quality of life. That's how I look at it. If you really love your parents, love your oldies or lolos, if you see them happy, you'll be happy also. It's not really sacrificing your quality of life. That's how I look at it. So that it should be a different mindset. But again, probably Dr. Maurice have a different approach. Maurice?
Yes, sir. Kasi tingin ko kasi we have to clear everything, no? Bakit nagkakaroon ng functional decline? Kung wala namang functional decline, we could do some aspect na we could provide at home. Tama si sir, no? If we do proper caring sa ating mga kasama sa bahay, we are happy, and happy rin si lolo at si lola, no? Ang kailangan lang talaga dito is a family coordination, family cooperation, and understanding sa pinagdadaanan ni lolo at ni lola. Siyempre, acceptance rin natin yun, no? Kapag natanggap natin at meron changes si lolo at si lola, maganda ang tuloy-tuloy na pangangalaga natin. Pero kapag hindi natin natatanggap ang pinagdadaanan natin ng kasama natin sa bahay, na-experience ko, doon nagkakaroon ng conflict, no, of management sa bahay. Merong anak na gusto dito, merong anak na gusto doon. So nagkakaroon ng conflict. So walang iisang goal na gusto nilang gawin para sa kanilang mga mahal sa buhay. So in that matter, siguro kailangan mag-usap at magkaroon ng common goal para mabigyan natin ng good quality of life yung kasama natin sa bahay na nangangailangan ng pag-unawa, pagmamahal, at pangangalaga.
Yeah. Yes, those are very important, no? Yung our interaction and the love, the care, the appreciation, the sharing of joy with our older person at home. They are really important. That will help them in their mental health and well-being. Yes, thank you, Doc, for that. We have two more questions here. The first one is, what percentage of geriatric patients were cured during using pharma medicines? I think medyo related dun sa previous pero you can answer, Dr. Senyosa.
When you say kasi dementia, the treatment is hindi na tayo, the goal of therapeutic management dito is to delay the progressions of the disease. Hindi na natin sila mababalik sa dati. Ang goal nila ng medicine dito is to delay the progression, yung paglala niya. We have to maintain kung ano doon status niya right now, yung hindi na siya mag-progress at makarating pa sa severe stage of dementia. I'm talking about dementia, no? But of course, pag depression naman, nare-reverse back naman natin yung mga pasyente doon with tamang medication, tamang psychotherapy na binibigay, tamang pag-unawa ng kasama natin sa bahay. Nagkakaroon naman tayo ng reversal naman doon at na-maintain natin pagka tinatawag nating stable psychologically ng mga pasyente with depression, which is kakaiba doon sa may dementia na ang purpose ng gamutan is to delay the progression sa the disease, to delay the appearance of the behavior. Siyempre, ayaw natin magkaroon ng pasyente nag-a-agitate, no? Yung masungit, nagagalit, nagmumura sa atin, dinuduroan tayo, no, sinusuntok tayo, sinasabunutan. Ayaw nating makarating sa stage na yon. Kaya ang purpose ng gamutan lang natin doon sa dementia is to delay the progression, to delay the appearance of the mga bad behavior ng pasyente. No, yun ang iniiwasan natin. Mostly, honestly, doon sa government hospital na pinupuntahan ko, moderate to severe na nakikita namin pasyente na dinadala na lang because nananakit, nandudura, hindi natutulog, nagmumura, ng babato. So kaya minsan nalulungkot kami. No? Kung alam lang natin yung early stage, baka na-delay pa natin yung appearance na yun. So kaya mas maganda yung webinar na natutunan natin na yung mga early stages, yung mga early warning sign para ma-delay natin yung mga progression na yun.
Yes, yes, Doc.
Actually, Maurice, may magandang statement dito on one of our audience. Sinabi niya, the best and moral place for our elderly is a loving, compassionate, and harmonious family in a home that is not a house. I think it should be the
Yes, sir.
perspective. It will help a lot. Okay, that's why you should really understand our old what you call this personalities in our home to really help them in their challenges as they age in life.
Yeah. Kaya nga sir, sinasabi namin pag nakikita namin pasyente may dementia, kasama nyo kami sa journey ninyo kay lolo, kay tatay, no? O kay lola. Hindi namin kayo iiwanan. We're always there for you. Kung saan kayo pupunta, nandoon din kami kasama ninyo at handang tumulong kung meron kayong kailangan para kay lolo, kay lola. So, nandito kami to join you with your journey, no, doon sa mga patients na may mga dementia. Kasi alam namin kung gaano kahirap, kung gaano kabusisi at mentally and physically challenging ang magkaroon ng mga pasyente may dementia. Kaya we're here to go with them to their journey. Tulungan sila, sir.
Yeah. Doc, meron ditong question. Yeah, before I go to another question na yung, well, another shorter question, I just want to ask this, does the government or DOH have any program to help abandoned elderly, especially those with comorbidities? Where do they send the elderly seeking help because they have no means of living and no relatives to care for them? Meron ba, Doc? May mga program bang DOH on this?
Actually, kasi doon sa government hospital na pinupuntahan ko, marami silang pinupulot. Bago nila dalhin sa isang institution, pinapa-assess muna namin if this is, meron tayo tinatawag na mental challenging, no, na problema yung pasyente. Ngayon kung wala naman, alam mo, most of the patients dinadala doon sa Havens for the Elderly sa Tanay, no? Doon na mostly sila dinadala. But of course, dinadala lang sa amin for clearance kung walang magiging psychological problem pagdating doon. Kung sakaling meron man, ini-stay muna sa amin, tinitreat lang namin, then once stable, dinadala na sila sa Haven for the Elderly. We have an institution for that. That is the Haven for the Elderly under the TSWD.
Sige, Doc. Eto kanina you're talking about yung parang preventive eh. Meron ditong question, is there any way to predict if you will eventually develop dementia or Alzheimer's? Meron ba, Doc, mga signs and ano yan that we will eventually develop it? And probably, in addition to that question, how can you prevent it from progressing to that?
Okay. Meron kasi tayong mga tinasabing neuroprotective na ginagawa natin pang araw-araw. Number one, yung education. Highly educated you are, mas nakakaroon ka ng mga neuroprotective doon sa brain, na poprotektahan yung brain mo na magkaroon ng mga tinatawag nating dementia. Number two, you keep yourself busy palagi. Eat healthy food, daily exercise. No, kung ikaw man, of course, di natin may iwasan kung meron man tayong mga chronic illnesses, kamukha ng hypertension, diabetes, coronary artery disease, we have to maintain, no, continue taking our medications and regular check-up, no, to avoid these things na magkaroon tayo ng mga tinatawag na vascular type of dementia. Of course, kung meron naman tayong nagkaroon sa pamilya ng ganyan, no, lalo tayong mag-ingat doon sa mga risk factors na sinasabi na kamukha ng ating pag-iinom, smoking, yung ating mga diet, tapos iwasan, kailangan laging watch out tayo sa mga diet nating kinakain. Then number 4, yung mga habits, mga modification ng lifestyle, no, na sinasabi kailangan nating baguhin. Pero lately ngayon, meron tayong tinatawag na multi-dimers test na available ngayon sa Pilipinas, no. This is through blood test. Kung tingin mo ang family mo o ang inyong mga grandparents ay nagkaroon ng Alzheimer's disease, meron tayong test na tinatawag na multi-dimers test na you can detect, no? Pa-detect ka kung if you're carrying that uh, that gene na
Predisposition.
sinasabi natin,
Mm.
no? Through blood, kung malakas ang loob mo. gusto mong kung gusto mong malaman, but I have some relative na nagpa-test niya multi-dimers test, no. Ang cutoff score is more than 1.1. Kapag positive ka, there's a probable chance that you're going to have only a probable chance of getting Alzheimer's disease. Available na ngayon sa Pilipinas. It will took you about 1 month bago mo malaman yung result. Yun.
Oh.
Pero syempre, modification pa rin ng lifestyle ang makakatulong sa atin. Keep yourself busy. Kahit retired ka na, kailangan you keep going, no? Kasi pag na-idle tayo, nagiging idle yung brain cells natin. Kukunti na nga lang yan pag nagkakaedad tayo. So the way to stimulate it is to keep us busy. And continue reading.
Mm. So bago
Rose?
tayo umabot,
Yeah.
Doc, bago tayo tumanda, we keep ourselves our mind busy, and go through this food, diet, exercise, and all the other tips that you were telling us, no? Hindi natin hintayin
Yeah.
umabot tayo doon. Yes.
Rose, may
Dr.
request
Lopez?
dito. Yeah. Nakalagay dito sa ating chat box. Can I request for a copy of your very good lecture? Actually, this was already have a response. This lecture will be shared on VRPMC's YouTube account. You may subscribe and click the bell button to get notified once the webinar is up for viewing. Okay? And nandito ang what you call this website for your So for those who would like to have a copy of the lecture, you could view it through our VRPMC YouTube account. Okay?
Yes, just
subscribe.
subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also follow our Facebook, our social media pages, so that you will be updated. Because we're going to upload this, parang that it will be available on demand. So after this, thank you for requesting for that, and for the comment that this is a very good lecture. Thank you for your good feedback on this. Actually, we are also posting on the chat box Google form, a feedback form for the participants to click and then give us your feedback about the lecture, about the speaker, and about upcoming what you want topics that we will be discussing with VRP webinars. So there are no more questions, Doc, or there will be, if there are other questions, wala na tayong time kasi, Doc, 12 noon na, no? So,
Okay.
Doc, you have Dr. Lopez.
Probably we could tell them to have their questions what you call this type
Sa
this
social media, Doc. Or dito,
social
nakalagay
media,
naman.
then we
Actually,
could probably have it personally
yes.
answered by Dr.
Yes.
Maurice later time.
Yeah. We would like to thank Dr. Sanyosa for sharing their expertise on this topic. And I think LBRC team will have to plan out another module for this topic, Dr. Lopez, about the mental health and well-being
Yes, that's right.
of the
That's right.
older persons, no? And if they have any other questions, they can go to our social media, they can message us, they can ask the questions, and we will send it to Dr. Sanyosa. And if you want to consult, no, you want to know more about our Life Balance and Resiliency Center services, you can contact us. You can go to the website and get the contact numbers, or you can call 8464-9999 local 335 on that. Dr. Lopez, Dr. Sanyosa, you have your words before I call in Dr. Julian Giyang for the closing remarks. Any words from you before we close?
Just remember, yung ating mga older persons na nagbigay sa atin nagpalaki sa atin, no? Pinagkuhanan natin ng lakas ng ating mga experiences. So at sila rin ang nagiging gabay natin habang lumalaki tayo, ano? Sila rin ang kinukuhanan natin ng mga advice pag nangangailangan tayo ng tulong. So wag rin nating kalimutan in due time tayo rin kakailanganin rin nila tayo. And I think that is the right time na kailangan nating suklian kung ano ang binigay nila sa atin, no? Ang hinihilang lang naman nila ay tatlong bagay: pag-unawa, pagmamahal, at isang mahigpit na yakap sa araw-araw.
Yes.
Well,
Mahigpit na
that's
yakap,
right,
Doc.
no? Yeah, I agree that 100%, Maurice. I think my last statement here is that you just have to, what our older people in your house needs, is your utmost care and attention. And I think by showing them the love that they gave you when you were a child, it will enough to make them feel less stressed, and they will really have a longer life than when you don't mind them. And definitely, being old, they have also medical problems, physical illnesses. So you have to have them also consult other doctors for their physical ailment, aside from the mental uh, impairment. So just take care of your older people, especially na you know that that there are many already going into older olds, mga 80 plus. I have many patients above 80, and many are really reaching yung centenarian age, And I think ang bonus dyan is that baka makakuha kayo ng 100,000 bonus from the government. And I think that's also one probably, most likely naman, you will be the one to spend it kasi ang iyong olds hindi na alam kung ano ang gagawin sa pera na yan. So, I mean, look at that. So, it's really worth taking care of your olds. That's all. Thank you.
Yes.
Sir, ako may
Yes.
105 patients ngayon, 105 years old.
That's good.
Oh, wow. Wow, congratulations to that person, Doc. Meron na siyang 1 million ba?
Walang
100,000
dementia?
ba?
Still sharp?
May dementia, sir. Pero may functional pa kahit konti.
That's good. That's good.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Senyosa, Dr. Lopez. I'm sure we have so many takeaways from today's session. I'd just like to add, no, yung sinabi nyo, life is short. While we still have time, and while the people we love are still around, love them, care for them, appreciate them. Okay, at this point, we will call in our chairman of Life Balance and Resiliency Center, Dr. Julian Giang, to give us the closing remarks. Dr. Jules?
Yes, Rose, thank you very much. A pleasant good afternoon to everyone. On behalf of the VRP LBRC, I'd like to thank our speaker, Dr. Senyosa, who is also a member of the VRP LBRC team, for a very timely topic, which is concerning older persons. I would like to thank also everyone who logged in with this webinar topic. To my fellow older persons, I hope that we all age gracefully. And to those who are going to be older soon, may this lecture guide you into going into age gracefully. I would also like to invite everyone to visit our VRP LBRC clinic. If you have any concern regarding anything about mental health issues, particularly among elderly also. And sabi nga ni Rose, to close this topic, I'd like to give you a message. Life is short and we should all be happy. Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Giang.
Yes,
Thank you,
Rose.
Dian.
Thank
For
Thank
you.
you,
the closing
Julius.
remarks, thank you again to our participants for coming. Thank you to Zonta International District 17 for partnering with us for this webinar. We want